Alright guys, well hey, welcome to this week's video. This week I want to touch a little bit on end of season tree stand inventory service, what I do to check my tree stands when I pull them. Now I pulled my tree stands a couple of weeks ago when it was a lot colder, right after the season ended here in Pennsylvania, and I haven't had a chance to do a really good inventory of the condition of the stands, anything that I might need to replace, so I know what I need to order as we get ready for the next season. So I thought I'd take you through my process. Maybe you do the same thing, maybe you do something a little bit different. So if you do, leave us a comment down below as to what you do to service your tree stands at the end of the year. Do you pull your tree stands out of the woods, or do you let them up all year round? Now, we do let some tree stands up year round. I do have a couple of ladder stands that I leave out. But when it comes to hang-ons, climbing sticks, stuff like that, that all comes out of the woods because I want to make sure cables are good, straps are good, the framework of the stand is good, bolts are tightened, you know, the washers are the plastic washers that silence the stands. They're going to crack, they're going to wear, so you can always buy those replacement parts. So we want to take a look at everything. So I'm going to go through that. Before we get there, head over to the outdoor shop. Always reminding you of that. We've got some apparel on sale right now. We've got the newer style shirts, old style shirts, which are still really cool, available for you while supplies last. I got a couple of the black truckers caps with the new Bout Huntin logo on them, just like the one I'm wearing right here. So everything that you guys purchase helps us continue to bring you videos on a weekly basis, and it helps grow our YouTube channel, and we appreciate your support. So enough of the sales pitch, let's dive right into what we're going to do. First thing, I'm in my garage, so don't mind the mess. It's it's winter, okay? Everything gets piled into my garage when the winter season is done. Tree stands are laid out all over the place. So I've got two stands and two different sets of sticks that I'm going to go through. I'm just going to go through one stick from each set and one of each of the style stands that I have here for hang-ons. I have the Muddy Boss XL hang-on stand. This is a really big platform stand. It's a heavier tree stand, but I use this a lot for when I'm hunting with my son or my wife or just my brother and I. It's a much wider base, bigger cushion to sit on and whatnot. And then I've got a little bit smaller Muddy stand. I've had these for a long time, but they're a little bit lighter. Still a heavier stand, but solid, and they do the job. So let's look at the sticks first. I've got a set of Muddy climbing sticks here. These are the 3-step ones. So what do we want to look at when we're taking a look at Muddy sticks or climbing sticks in general? So when I take a look at my climbing sticks, there's a couple things I want to look at as I'm going through the inspection process. First of all, I want to make sure that there's no rust or corrosion that's causing any kind of a cancerous hole in the stick that's going to signify a possible fail in the stick if I step on one of the steps or I hold on one of the steps or whatever the case may be. This looks good, and that's one of the reasons why you want to take your steps out of the woods at the end of the season. They go through a lot of wear and tear with weather in a couple of months that they're out there. Bring them in and inspect them. Clean them up a little bit too. What I'll then take a look at is your braces that go against the tree, and take a look at the screws in here, okay? So what you want to do is take a look at, make sure the screws are still pretty tight, the washers underneath, all right? Same thing down here. These are still really good. There's no stress cracks in them from being up against a tree or weight going on them, so they are in good condition. From there, what I'm going to do is take a look at the knob, which is what I call it, okay? This is where your strap loop is going to go over on this particular style. Some of them are a little bit different. So you want to make sure that, first of all, this is a really hardened plastic. It's not cracked, okay? It's got an Allen screw right in the center part there. We'll flip it over and make sure that our nut and our washer are still in good condition. And this looks great. So all in all, the integrity of this stand is in good shape, or I mean these sticks is in good shape. What I'll do is, as the weather gets warmer, is I'll take the steps out and I will hose them all down. You've got a couple of little bit of relief holes in here for water to drain out from the weather. A lot of times you'll get spiders like to put nests and stuff in there. So I'll hose this out and then let it dry, and those steps will be ready to go. When I take a look at the straps, now these straps just have a spring-loaded grasp right here. It's not a ratchet on these, and they work really good. They're strong. I mean, when you put these things on your tree, the way it bites is, I mean, these are rated to hold like 300 pounds. They're not going to go anywhere, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just check the spring, make sure it's still strong, that it's not worn out, so when I press on this, it's not going to come back. Make sure that it's holding that bite. Inspect the entire strap. And what I mean by inspect the entire strap is go down through the strap. Look for frays, tears, maybe where a squirrel might have been eating it, okay, or chewing at it, or a mouse climbed up the tree and started chewing at it, or a bird was pecking at it, okay? You know, you have your safety warning label on here. You can see how that's frayed, but that's not harming any part of the strap on there. The main parts of the strap, you want to look at where it connects to your spring-loaded piece right here. You want to make sure all of that is okay, and you can just run your fingers through it, make sure there's no rough edges, both sides. All right, check your stitching at the ends here, make sure that that's not frayed. Same thing on this side, okay? And at the end of the day, these are good. Now, what I might do with these is when the weather gets warm a little bit again as well, is I'll take some WD-40. I'll spray these down to keep from rusting on me. I'll hang them out for a full day outside, and then they'll be good to go. And by the time hunting season rolls around, that scent from the WD-40 is going to be gone. It's not going to affect you when you're out there. And usually what I do before I put these out in a stand in the fall, getting ready for the season, is I'll spray them down good with some scent block or cover scent. And that'll take care of any human odor. So this muddy stick is done. I've got a bunch of others of those, but we'll get them to another time. This is one of the lone wolf sticks. And kind of the same concept here. Now what I did with these to quiet them a little was I put a little bit of like a felt strip on here just to kind of help quiet them. But you're going to do the same thing on the lone wolves. You're going to check all your screws and washers, the plastic washers. These are single steps so they can switch both ways. So you want to check all of that. You've got your pieces on the back. You want to make sure everything is still good. There's no stress cracks on any of the braces or the steps as I'm going through. And it's a real quick check. You don't need to get too involved. It's going to be very obvious if something's wrong with them that you're going to see right off the bat. You probably would see it in the woods as you're taking them down. This one looks good, okay? Your knob on the lone wolves, again, is a really strong plastic. You can see it right here. Okay, that too has an Allen bolt going through it. So what you want to do with this one, since it protrudes a little bit, you want to make sure that it doesn't bend from stress as you're putting it on the tree. Maybe you stepped on it, or somebody that was hunting with you stepped on it, maybe it bent. Take a look at your nut on the other side. And then what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll test them. I'll tighten them up, make sure everything is good and tight before we get ready to put them back into service. So that looks good as far as the stick. We're looking at the same thing with the strap on the lone wolf. Again, it's just a spring-loaded grasp or clasp, whatever you want to call it. It's not a ratchet on this one, so I'm going to take a look at the loop end, make sure there's no frays. Take a look at the stitching. Good. Test the spring, make sure it responds. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to check my strap for the same kind of wear and or damage from any critters that may have occurred from being out. Now, this set of sticks, I'm not going to see as much wear and tear as I would on the muddy ones. These are my run and gun ones when I'm hunting with a saddle or with my lone wolf hang on, run and gun, public land, stuff like that. So these are coming out of the woods with me every time I'm leaving it. It doesn't stay overnight. The muddies, they're going to go on a set, they're going to stay there, and they're going to be there maybe all season long. So definitely want to pay really close attention to those as opposed to this, but still you want to inspect. So I'm inspecting everything. Again, no frays, no chewing, nothing like that. Lone wolf looks great. I'll do the same thing with this as the muddy ones. I'll spray them with a little WD-40 when it gets a little bit warmer, let them hang out to air out, and they'll be ready to go to deploy in the fall as well. So that's how I check my climbing sticks. And one of the things you want to do too, that I'll do, is if I have to order parts, okay, I'm going to bring a notepad out here with me, and I have 2020 tree stand service log because it's 2020 and we're servicing our stands. So if I need parts, I'm going to mark down what stand it's for on here, and I'm going to write down what parts I might need. And then that's going to give me my list that I order. Now, most of my tree stands, with the exception of the lone wolf, are muddy. So I'm only going to have to go through one manufacturer to order any kind of accessories or parts that I may find when I do my inspections here. So let's look at the Boss XL. This is a little bit larger stand. Okay. So when I take a look at that, the Boss XL has two, well, it comes with one strap on it. Alright. I always like to err on a little bit of side of caution, and I ordered some extra ratchets from Muddy. So even though it's got the loop that goes on here, and it's a friction-based strap, it's not going to give, but I just want to have a little bit more security, so I'm going to put a ratchet with hooks around the base, so I have 2 points of connection around that tree with a ratchet as opposed to just one, because it's such a heavy stand, and I'm putting myself or my brother or my wife or my son in this stand. I want to make sure that we're secure and we're safe. So with this is the one ratchet that I use on the base of it. I'm going to check the hook and make sure there's no breaks or stress cracks in the hook. Again, I'm going to check the stitching on the webbing here and where it attaches. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other end, looking. These are hanging out all season long, so you want to look for any wear or tear from critters that may have been chewing on this. That looks great there. We'll go to this side. Okay, looks good. No stress cracks on the hook. And the stitching looks good. So the strap itself looks good. Now we're going to take a look at the ratchet. Okay, these things will gain rust. So I got rust. So I got a little bit of rust on my spring right there that you can see. Okay, and a little bit of rust on this spring. So what I'll do is, again, WD-40 these, and I'll work them. Okay, because those springs are what's going to help get this to release on me when I need to. Okay. And then I'm just going to work it, spray it all around, work the mechanism just like that after I spray it to get that WD-40 in, and then pull that out. So I'll do that when it's a little bit warmer so I can hang these outside. I don't want to hang them in the garage. The fumes, it's not going to be safe to be smelling that in. So I want to wait for a nice warmer day. I'll hang them on, on the line outside after my wife does the laundry. And we'll work those things in. If we have to get new springs, very simple to do. You can pick up springs either from Muddy or from your local hardware store. But this strap looks good. The strap that comes on it. Alright. Again, we're looking at the loop or the tether. Now we got a little bit of fraying right here, but that's not harming anything, so we are going to keep an eye on that right there. If you can see it, we are going to keep an eye on that, but it's not, the main stitching that's holding the loop in place is good. The stitching all in through here is good. It connects. There's no rust on here. I still will spray this just to make sure it's good, and then I'll look at the whole strap, inspect it both sides. Alright, and the loop on this side. So all in all, I'm going to say this strap is in good shape. I don't have to do anything specific with it. So when we take a look at the stand ourselves, and what it has, okay? First of all, we've got the seat cushion on here, all right? You can take the seat cushion off. I have a tendency to leave it on until it gets a little bit warmer. I'll take it off then, I'll hose it down, wash it, you know, check everything. When I look at from the seat down, so we're going to take a quick look here. So we've got the plastic caps, they seem good. The washers in between here are okay. I don't have any bending of the nuts or the screws. Little bit of rust there, but not bad. Okay, so we'll look on each side. So you've got your washers here. These washers are just a plastic, like silicone type of washer. They crack easily, so you want to pay attention to them, but that helps quiet. These are really inexpensive. You can buy them through Muddy to get additional. Usually what I'll do is I'll just order some and just to have on hand, and I can change them out really easy. So I'll go down here. You see some rust on here, but overall the integrity of the stand looks in good shape. Okay, what I'll do, don't mind that, is on here. Now this washer right here is cracked, so that one I will want to replace. And what that does is that's really just holding this bolt in place. It's holding your knob that your loop is going to go over in place. Same thing with this one over here. So these two I would replace. They're not big factors as far as safety for the stand. It's just more for quietness, and again, that's really not all that much. So I might replace them, I might not. A little bit of rust, but there's no stress cracks in the stand itself. When I look at the platform, I want to make sure the welds are holding up really well. I don't see any part of the stand that's come undone where the welds are. Just a little bit of rusting from being out in the weather. So what I'll do is I'll power wash this stand when it gets warmer, and I may paint it. I may spray paint it just to kind of give it another coat with some kind of a weather guard, and you know, that'll last a lot. That'll keep the life of this stand to be a lot more. The most important part of your inspection are the cables, in my eyes. This is what, if this fails, you are going for a ride, and it's not going to be a fun one. So your cables, you want to take a look at these very closely and take them serious. You're going to look at any fraying in the exposed part of the cable up here. Okay? I don't see any there. I don't see any there. And I don't see any over there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run my fingers down the plastic outer coating on both sides. Okay? I don't feel any kind of cuts, any tears, nothing like that. Same thing there. What that's doing is that's protecting that entire cable from rusting, getting affected by the weather. You want to take a look at everything here. So this looks fine. So I'm not going to need to replace these. So in my eyes right now, with a quick inspection, this stand is good to go, other than my spring cleaning, Mr. Spider, okay, and going through and hosing it. Like I said, you got some water areas here where water will leak out, but also it's a nice place for spiders to house and build nests, so you want to get them out of there. So that's pretty much how I do it. We've got another stand here. I'm going to go through that one. I'll check that one just the same way. But most importantly, you want to check your stands at the end of the season for the integrity of the stand, for your safety. Change those cables if you have. These things don't cost that much, okay? They're not as much. You paid a lot of money for these tree stands when you're looking at them. Take the time to pull them out of the tree. Take the time to inspect them, just like we did here, okay? It only takes maybe an hour of your day if you've got a lot of tree stands. I've got, I don't know, 6 tree stands and sticks that I gotta check. So that's about an hour of my day, and then if it's nice weather, cleaning them, spraying down the ratchets, stuff like that. But it's something that I enjoy doing because there's a lot of money that we've invested in this equipment. We want to make sure it lasts us. We want to make sure it's safe. I love to hunt. I love to come home from hunting to be able to go back out and do it again. I love to come home to be able to spend time with my family and share in the memories that we've seen sitting in these stands. So put your due diligence in, do your stand inspections, do your service and inventory, replace something that you're not sure of. If it looks iffy, replace it. Okay? It may cost you 20 bucks at most, if that, I don't know, to replace a cable. That $20 is worth your life so you don't fall and get seriously injured or killed out of a tree stand. No deer is worth that. So, alright guys, that is how I do. I end the season servicing of my tree stands. Not a really long video, not really heavily involved, but it just a little something that I wanted to share with you. Let us know down in the comments if this is something that you do, or if there's something more that you do, or something different. And we'll share it with everybody as well. We're a bunch of hunters. We're people who like to get outdoors and enjoy seeing what we have to see out there in Mother Nature and what the Creator has given us. So let's keep doing that, and let's be safe as we do it. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching the video. Remember, click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Ring that bell. Give us a comment and a like, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to keep doing a little